Well, they tell us it's Easter. What in hell is Easter? Well, first of all, let's talk about hell. What is hell? Hell is a place where it's hot and burning. At least that's our story. Well, almost everywhere in the universe, it's either much too hot or much too cold for us to live. And if we do not live, we cannot experience it, because we need to have our bodies to understand sensation. And without these sensations, we do not perceive. So, actually, we can't go to hell. We can go there, but we're going to be dead. So the whole idea about being afraid of hell and being sent to hell, well, it's a bit ridiculous. And of course, that's what the Christians like to tell us. And I think I think the Muslims tell us the same thing. A lot of religions don't even bother with hell because it's simply retarded. And where we are here on the planet, you could call it paradise. Unfortunately, a lot of it has been turned into hell. But it's been turned into hell by us. So we could say that hell is other people. And that wouldn't be too far wrong. But let's get away from hell for now, because it's not the topic. The topic today is, what does Easter represent? Okay, now, there are people who will tell you that Easter is all about fluffy white bunnies and chocolate Easter eggs. Well, okay. Nothing wrong with that, except for maybe that most chocolate is produced in third world countries and we don't pay them enough, and so we're actually enjoying our chocolate with the help of slave labor. But we're not going to talk about that either, because we don't want to get too hard on ourselves when we're trying to have some fun. But let's talk about Jesus Christ, because a lot of people think that Jesus Christ was nailed on a cross and died and was raised from the grave 3 days later, although it was 2 days later that he wasn't in the tomb anymore. But I think some people are starting to realize that Christmas and Easter have been switched around, and the whole concept of the Lord God Jesus dying on the cross and Easter is simply wrong. And I don't think Jesus was probably ever nailed to a cross. He might have existed. People like Jesus Christ exist all the time. I mean, there are people alive today who think they're Jesus Christ. Most days I think I'm Jesus Christ. I think I'm Nietzsche on other days. Sometimes I think I'm Nietzsche and Wittgenstein mixed together. Other days I'm very convinced that I'm Esau. And I think I think you can be whoever you want to be, because, I mean, why not? But the good idea is to be yourself, of course. And we're all basically the same. And our brain is massive, and we can put a lot of things in there. So you can be Jesus Christ, you can be Buddha, and you can be them both at the same time. And you can also be Hitler and Moses and George Bush if you want to be, but we've got enough of them. So let's get to the meaning and purpose. There's no purpose. The purpose is to sell more chocolate so that the stores can make more money. But the meaning is backwards. The sun, the one up in the sky, the one that's a big ball of fire, it used to be a lot more important to us before we had light bulbs and heating and shopping malls. We would notice that the sun in the northern hemisphere, it's in the southern hemisphere, of course, it's the other way around, 6 months later. But at the end of the year, as we like to call it, the sun keeps getting lower and lower and lower in the sky. And at December 22nd, it is at the lowest that it gets in the northern hemisphere, and it dies. And 3 days later, it rises again, and that would be the 25th of December. So actually, Easter is a play off of this whole concept. If you go back far enough into history, you will see that most religions are based around the sun, because the sun still is very important, because if we don't have the sun, we don't exist. But back then it was more important because, for one thing, they did not understand the simplicity of the earth going around the sun once a year. And it's wait a second, I'm losing track.